Bo Nix out of Oregon going to the Denver Broncos. What are you thinking? Me personally, I think it's a pick. Go ahead.
This is
Yeah.
I'm just getting carried away watching these highlights. I've got a simple mind. I get distracted so easily. Yeah, it's an interesting one because I was very surprised he
You
went
thought it would be higher or
in
lower?
the first round where he did. That
Really?
lower. The thing that concerns me with this is Sean Payton is an issue for me with this pick because he's clearly got a massive ego where he thinks he is better. Like he wants to prove that I don't need Russell Wilson. I can pick this guy who everyone thought he was going to be a second rounder, and I'm going to prove everyone wrong. And I just don't know whether that's going to be to the detriment of Bo Nix himself. That's my first thing when I think about this pick. But you watch his highlights, like the highlights Johnny's put together now. You look at his stats over his 2 years, because obviously at Auburn, before he transferred, wasn't really that good. Like, am I right in saying that his dad was at Auburn and he's trying to carry the Knicks legacy on at that college? That didn't really go well. Then he went to Oregon, and just I'll quickly run through his whole 5 years in college, his completage percentage, and 3 years at Auburn, 57.6%, 59.9%, 61%. Then he transferred, shot straight up to 71.9 and 77.4, 2 years, 3,500, 4,500 yards last year. Last year he had an amazing year. He really did. 45 touchdowns, an average of 9.6 yards. Like, you read them stats and you watch him play last year, if you're a Denver Broncos fan, you get really excited. So there's potential there for Bo Nix to have a really good start. Now, when we put it into context of fantasy, for me personally, he isn't I wouldn't even superflex.
I can understand that.
Unless the draft fell for me where so many outfield players, I'm talking my football here, what am I on about? So many wide receivers, running backs, tight ends fell for me in the really nice spots. Then I might be like, oh, fuck it, I'll just go Bo Nix and hope for the best. But other than that, you can't go anywhere near him, especially the Broncos last year. Like, Sean Payton's on an ego run. He's on an ego rant to try and prove that he can turn this absolute dumpster fire around, and it just scares me to even think about him in a fantasy term. Probably even in an actual footballing term as well. I just say EW kicks, bang on right. He does give me Zach Wilson vibes. Zach Wilson is also there. Is that going to be a detriment? What's Zach Wilson's character truly like? Like, it's there, like Sean Payton there. The thing that worries me is like, oh, I'll take Zach Wilson and I'll prove everyone wrong. And I don't know if that's going to detriment Bo Nix. So for me, he potentially could be good, but I won't like to go near him.
You brought up some great points as far as as far as fantasy. I wouldn't trust starting him, certainly, until he started to prove himself. It's rare that a rookie quarterback performs well enough to play, even as a super flex. I do like Bo
Um,
Nix, and I do like Bo Nix to Denver. As you said, maybe a bit lower, but the with the premium of quarterbacks, the NFL has gone crazy. I can remember quarterbacks being drafted in the third and fourth round, expected to be, the franchise's next player or starter. That never happens anymore. Uh, if there's a chance, they're all six QBs in the first round is amazing. I don't. Go ahead.
you just got to sorry, you've just got to remember as well the average of rookie quarterback to actually be fancy relevant in their
Certainly.
first year
Oh yeah.
is very very slim. They bust at a higher rate more than they
Oh yeah.
fail. CJ Stroud was just an anomaly. Like you're not going to like. I'm sure we'll get onto Caleb Williams in the off season at one point, and I won't go anywhere near him either. I don't care if they think he's the second coming of looking Patrick
He plays for
Mahomes.
the
Like it
Bears.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. On, on Bo Nix, one thing I would say, one thing I do like to see, and it's almost like the Bengals showed teams. The Bengals showed teams the right way to do your rookie quarterbacks. It's basically draft a rookie quarterback, and if you can, get their college wide receiver as well. It's almost like an automatic safety blanket. He's thrown because they picked up
Yeah.
Franklin. In my eyes, we'll get onto him one week because I think he's a steal. But it's a very smart
Okay, is it
move,
me or is
very
it
very
Pez,
smart
Johnny?
move what they did
Who's
there
frozen?
because it's
Okay.
almost like Bo Nix's safety blanket.
Oh yeah, I love the pick of Franklin.
It,
I have
I
guys
think
in
it's me,
several of
mate.
my
My
leagues.
internet's
Definitely like the Franklin pick. Uh, you know,
yeah.
you know, the reason why I like the Knicks pick is because they were running out of quarterbacks. Denver needed one, so it was pretty much their last chance to grab him. He would have been gone before their next pick, I imagine. Next, Bo Nix seems to be
Yeah,
quite mature. He was a leader at Oregon. As you said, his dad was a big time college QB, so he knows how to manage those expectations. I think he's going to fit in well with the Peyton system, but it might take 1 or 2 years for him to really start performing. Josh Allen didn't he didn't break out until year 3, so you got to be patient with a quarterback like Bo Nix. I think. Uh, I was surprised that he was the last one picked. I thought Penix actually would have been picked after him. But anyway, I think Peyton's offense will work
the thing,
well with Nix. I think Peyton is a patient head coach with quarterbacks. If you look at the success that Peyton has had, he even made Jameis Winston look like a starter. He had Taysom Hill playing quarterback. I mean, come on. And even with who was it? Oh shoot, uh, who was the other quarterback in New Orleans that replaced Terry Bridgewater? I believe Terry Bridgewater was 5-0 replacing Breeze.
oh yeah,
Peyton is able to mold quarterbacks, and I think that Knicks will do well. Uh, and I do like that you said or you mentioned that the success rate, yeah, it's less than 50% of quarterbacks taken in the first round ever go to a Pro Bowl, right? If you look at the 2021 draft, I think there's only one quarterback that is still with their original team. Everyone else has been traded or dropped or released, right? So they're on a new team. Uh, but I would definitely buy Knicks if he's available, low first round, second round, I'd be all over adding him to my team, putting him in the taxi squad, seeing what happens. But for Orkney Bowl, definitely low round pick, completely as a flyer only. I would not be expecting any solid production from Knicks this season for any Orkney Bowl teams. Yeah. All right. So I think we've got Bo
Yeah,
discussed.
I agree.